Hey guys, welcome back to Olubori TV. So, a union leader has come out to say that Peter Obi is not different from Tinubu and Atiku. Difference in this is not difference rather in the sense that Obi also paid money to settle people to become the Labour Party's presidential candidate. Hmm. Imagine. I knew they would do this eventually, but come on, come on. Come on. I think this smear campaign has just kicked into high gear, and we can only expect more from the opposition. Comrade Benga Komolafe, a social activist and the General Secretary of the Federation of Informal Workers Organizations of Nigeria, that's FIWON, has alleged that Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, paid millions of naira to buy the party's ticket. You remember that Obi defected from the PDP to the LP? No, I think defected is wrong. He resigned from the PDP at first, then nearly 24 hours later, he joined the Labour Party. Too much pomp and pageantry. In fact, his joining the Labour Party made the Labour Party a top three political party in Nigeria. The Labour Party was on social media, they had less than 2,000 followers. Right now, their followers are almost 50K, and they will only continue to increase. In fact, the Peter Obi campaign committee or the Peter Obi campaign organization has done so much work in the sense that right now on the streets, people, not even the campaign organization, not even the Labour Party, ordinary citizens like you and me have erected signboards and posters of the Peter Obi presidency come 2023. So trust me when I say the Labour Party has benefited massively from Peter Obi joining them. But Mr. Komolafe has come out to allege that Peter paid money to settle people to become the presidential candidate. Now let's break this down. For anybody to become a presidential candidate for any party, you need to pay a certain amount of money to buy the presidential nomination form. That's the expression of interest form. Now, off the top of my head, I don't know how much the LP did theirs. I remember APC did theirs 100 million. The PDP did theirs, I think, 40 million or 20. No, I think 40 or 20 million thereabout. The LP, on the other hand, I know it can be less than 10 million. I know it can be less than 10 million. Maybe 5, but it shouldn't be less than 10 million. So I know Peter Obi paid some money to get that form. But Peter Obi is a billionaire. He can afford it. Here's where Mr. Komalafe's claims become more psychotic. One of the presidential candidates, or one of the former presidential candidates before the presidential primary elections of the Labour Party, was Professor Patutomi. Professor Patutomi is someone that has been running for president for a very long time. He has been on the scene for a very long time. He's someone that people have claimed to be a person of principle and integrity. Now, he's not the most popular, but even I have known him for a very long time. Back in the days when he used to hold interviews on Galaxy TV, I remember Patutomi. He had this I can't remember the name of the program, but he had this program then where he used to just talk politics, philosophy, and the like. So I have known Patutomi for a very long time. Another person is Eragbe Anselm. That was another presidential hopeful before the LP, the Labour Party presidential primaries, and Olubusola Olufolake, amongst others. All these are people that stepped down for Peter Obi when he came in. And you know why they stepped down? They stepped down because they recognized the caliber of the person coming in. They recognized just how much of a following Peter Obi had. They recognized the potential in this person being Nigeria's president. So they stepped down. But Mr. Komalafe is coming out to say that no, Peter Obi paid them. He alleged that Obi paid millions of naira to settle some of these aspirants saying the information was reliably gathered from inside the party. I dare him to point a finger and cite his source. The activist described the former Anambra governor as a mainstream politician whom he said was not different from the All Progressives Congress candidate Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the People's Democratic Party's candidate Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. He said Obi paid millions of naira to Labour Party leadership and equally settled other aspirants like the Callistus guy, that's one of the people that came out in the so-called factions after Obi emerged president. I still maintain that those people were sponsored by the opposition, but like I said, I do not, I don't have any proof. I just think it's just an opinion. I'm not accusing anybody. This Callistus guy questioned the credibility of the so-called interim chair, who, according to Mr. Comrade Komalafe, is the biggest beneficiary of Peter Obi. He said Peter Obi is fundamentally a mainstream politician and is not different from Tinubu or Atiku. But Nigerians have been trapped in a plutocracy, politics of the criminally rich. Within that context, most Nigerians are incapable of seeing any other candidate except the very visible and traditional ones. The Labour Party affiliation with trade union gives a little veneer of difference from the APC and PDP. Unfortunately, the enormous potential of the Labour Party evolving as a true workers' party has been crippled even before the race started, not only because of their fawning and unprincipled embrace of an OB without building a programmatic mass base, but also because their determination to simply exploit the current situation for their own individual benefits. Mr. Komalafe talks. If I refrain from calling him Komalafe because it's not a comment. Mr. Komalafe talks a good talk. Yes, I will admit that. He talks a good game. But if a third of the country, or if the young Nigerian youths that were agitated during the ENSAS period can come out right now and support a political candidate, isn't it worth it to, whatever thought you think you have, to actually sit down and think, okay, what is it that these people are seeing? Because I feel that he's being threatened because, yes, I will say this, the Labour Party was almost a non-entity before Obi joined them. And since Obi joined them, they've become more popular and more acceptable to the teeming young Nigerian population. So, is it that Mr. Komolafe feels threatened because he's a union worker and he sees that the Labour Party is growing bigger than they thought it would? I mean, think about it rationally. Why is he coming out to say all this? What does he stand to gain? What exactly does he stand to benefit from everything he's saying? You might think that, well, he just wants to come out and say the truth, but come on, this is Nigeria. We all know that everybody has an angle, especially when you're coming out to detract someone that is so widely accepted by people. Coming out in a smear campaign to say that this person has paid money to certain individuals. Nah, I don't believe that. Mr. Komalafe, tell us what's going on. But I could be wrong. Let us know in the comment section below. Till next time, Arrivederci.